it was like we had it before, and now it's turning out like this, which is its point. How can we adjust, regulate the tensions of the home overlock? Here we have the home overlock, and we are going to see right now how the stitching is coming out. We saw the path. The first thing we need to do is recognize the thread of each anchor or looper. Here we can see how the stitching is loose everywhere. So first we are going to learn to recognize the thread of each anchor or looper, and thus keep in mind when adjusting their tensions. Well, here we have the tensioners. We have the two on top, which are for the two needles. In this case, I am using the first one. I am currently using only one needle. We are not using the second tensioner, which is for the inner needle, so that the overlock is smaller. This third tensioner is for the right looper or upper looper, and in other countries it's mostly called an anchor. So the third tensioner is for the right anchor. We have the last one, which is for the left anchor or left looper or lower looper. We must keep this in mind when adjusting the tensions. Let's see why. From the tensioners, precisely because in the sewing it will tell us which of the two is tightened or which is loose. So this is the part we sewed, which is the top one. So we will always identify the top one in the seam. In this case, we have the strong pink, which is from the right anchor or upper looper. We turn the fabric to its reverse side, and we have the orange, which is from the left or lower anchor. We can see it. And we have the gray one, which is the needles. From the back, it also shows us the needles thread. When tightening the threads, we see the seam on top, and having the pink here means that the left looper is pulling it. We see how it's passing it to us. It should stay here at the edge. When the thread from the upper or right looper is pulling the left one, we need to loosen the right looper a bit and tighten the left looper. We also see the needle stitch, which is completely loose. We should tighten this one as well without needing to adjust the other two. Simply, when it is pulling the thread of either one, we simply pull, loosen the one that is too tight and tighten the one that is too loose a bit. And we are going to set the stitch and practice it on the machine. We have the needle one loose, so we can give it 2 turns since it was very loose, and we see that the top part is pulling from the left. So we loosen it 2 turns, and on the left we give it 2 turns and test it on the machine. That's it. We see that it's still pulling there. Well, here we see it could be a little more. Here we can see the difference that it starts to vary a little. The thread on the left doesn't start to fall as much. And now we need to give more tension to the needle. We loosen a bit more on the right anchor and tighten a bit more on the left anchor.
And a little to the needle.
Again, we sew.
Let's take it out of there.
Well, here we can already see the difference. We can see the difference, how it was before, and now it's turning out like this. It is just right, isn't it? The seams join at the top, and we see how the needle one is still very loose, and so we simply tighten the needle, but regarding the anchor, so that's how the stitch should be. Let's tighten then the needle, which in this case is the only one that is still loose. We turn it twice and don't move the other tensioners. Since the stitching turned out well, let's sew again. Let's sew and see how the needle turned out, as the only thing left to adjust is the tension. Is still a bit loose. Let's give it another 2 more turns and keep sewing. After finishing tightening the needle tension, we'll see. Here we have a perfect seam, it should be. We turn to the back and see the needle one, which is the grey one. That also depends on the fabric thickness and needle gauge. So let's remember, when the upper thread, the right anchors, pulls the lower one, we must loosen the upper one and tighten the lower one a bit. Very rough now. When the halele bottom thread, the first thing is to sew below, pulls the top one, we must loosen the left anchor and tighten the right one a bit, and vice versa, so that both have adequate tension, so that when they intertwine, the seam is at the edge. The entire edge. That's how the overlock stitch should look. Whether homemade or industrial, that's all, friends. Until the next video, and remember to share and like the video. Thank you very much.